Don't buy leads. Don't recommend buying leads. Angie's List, Thumbtack, Home Advisor. Get rid of that stuff because those are just a crutch, right? I kind of compare it either to like, do you want to buy fish from the superstore or do you want to learn how to fish, right? So we want to learn how to fish, and that's really what creating a door-to-door team is all about.
Welcome to the Painter Growth Podcast, where we help you scale your painting company in record time. Join us as we explore sales, marketing, hiring, finances, leadership, and more, everything that you need to know to scale and grow your painting business. I hope you enjoy and subscribe.
What's up, everybody? Michael Hickman here, founder of paintinggrowth.com, and you're listening to the Painter Growth Podcast. And guys, I am so excited to talk to you about our topic today, which you guys already saw, right? It's the 5 reasons why your door-to-door team is failing. And I am so passionate about door-to-door marketing and door-to-door teams. Obviously, it's not the only way that I recommend getting leads. Like, there's a ton of different ways that you can get leads. You can do online marketing, Facebook ads, Google ads, GLSAs. You can do offline marketing, door hangers, flyers, networking, door-to-door marketing. You can do some strategic partner stuff with property managers, realtors, builders, GC. Don't buy leads. Don't recommend buying leads. Angie's List, Thumbtack, Home Advisor. Get rid of that stuff because those are just a crutch, right? I kind of compare it either to like, do you want to buy fish from the superstore or do you want to learn how to fish, right? So we want to learn how to fish, and that's really what creating a door-to-door team is all about. But here we're going to teach you the mistakes that most people make when they learn how to fish, because it's a wild endeavor, learning how to set up a door-to-door marketing team. Right. So I'm going to take you through the 5 reasons why your door-to-door marketing team is failing. So let's get into it right away with reason number 1. Your door-to-door team is failing because you don't have one. You don't have a door-to-door marketing team. Chances are, if you're listening to this, you've never taken the time to set up a door-to-door marketing team, or maybe you fell through one of the traps of the following 4 reasons that we're going to go through. Now, the importance I want to go through of setting up a door-to-door team, no matter your area, no matter your neighborhood, there's always a way to figure it out. If you're in New York, Florida, California, Canada, like anywhere, it works. You just have to figure out the nuance of your neighborhood, of your area, of your community. Some areas are a little bit different than others. So it's up to you to figure out what that nuance is. Now, we can help you if you want to shoot us a message or comment or message on Instagram or something. Like, we can help you figure out what that nuance is. We've worked with hundreds and hundreds of painters, probably worked with someone in your city. So we'll help you figure that out. But you need to set one up. You need a team. But you can't get a team, and you can't really hire a team until you figure out how to get at least 1 estimate per hour by yourself. So the cool thing about economics when it comes to door-to-door marketing is if you can get a marketer to get 1 estimate per hour, which is the benchmark, approximately 1 an hour, and then you'd close at least every 3 estimates. So 1 out of 3, or 33% close rate. So that means every 3 hours you get 1 job. So if you take your average job size, say it's $5,000. Actually, you know what? For simplicity, let's just go $3,000. Nice and low, small average job size, but really simple for this example. So if your average job size is $3,000 and you book 1 out of 3, that means every estimate that you do, you're booking on average $1,000, right? You following me? Then every estimate you're doing, you're booking about $1,000. Okay. So your goal, if you want to keep marketing spend less than 10% of revenue, is to pay less than $300 per booked job. And divided by 3, that's $100 per estimate. So say your budget is spending $100 per estimate through door-to-door. There are many different ways that you can pay that estimate. The way that I like paying the best is a base plus commission. So something like $20 or $25 an hour plus a $50 per estimate commission. And that only gets to $75 per estimate. So you're actually winning. 75 times 3 is 75, 150, 225. If your average job size is 3,000, you're like a 7%, right? So that's ideal. So the cool thing about paying a high base, like $20 or $25 or even $30 per hour for your door-to-door marketer, is that you can attract a really high-level candidate. Now, the best way to find people is with Indeed or through your network. So you put up like $25, $30 per hour. You might have to split test a few ads based on pain point and what type of person you're looking for. But with a high base like that, like $20 to $30 an hour, you're going to be able to attract a really good person, a really high level person who's going to be really good at it, right? And therefore, it's going to be self-fulfilling. They're going to be way more successful than if you hire a student who's willing to work on 100% commission. But Mike, how do I know these guys are actually going door to door for me? Well, I'm so glad that you asked that question, Mr. Listener or Miss Listener, because you're going to use an app called Strava, Strava. And it's a fitness tracking app, but your marketer is just going to turn that on, log a route, log a run while they're doing their exercise, while they're doing their door-to-door loop, and they're going to send that to you when they're done. And that's how they get paid hourly, and then they get paid their estimates for estimates that you actually attend. Okay, so number one reason why your door-to-door team is failing is because you don't have one. All right, number two reason why your door-to-door team is failing is because you picked the wrong people. You hired the wrong marketers. And I briefly touched on in the previous, but if you're paying 100% commission, you're going to get people quitting. You're going to get people who aren't motivated, and you're just going to have the wrong people, right? With a high base plus commission, making $75 per estimate, per hour, if they're getting one an hour. If they get 2 estimates per hour, that's $125 per hour. That's insane. That's a really, really good return for someone. You can hire literally a professional executive to work for $125 an hour. So, you're picking the wrong people. So with a high base, you can actually find the right people. Now, there's 2 main characteristics that I want you to focus on when you're interviewing people to be a marketer for you. Number 1 is first impression. How good is their first impression? Do they make you feel really, really happy right out of the gate? Right? They need to be really, really good at first impressions. And then number 2, they need to be really financially motivated. So first impression, financially motivated. How can you interview for that? Well, you can simply just ask them about their past experiences. I mean, for first impression, it's just a feeling that you get. Are they upbeat? Are they friendly? Do they look good? Are they are they super ugly? You don't want that someone like that to be representing your company. You want someone who is, their sales rep, they're front of your business. So are they good looking? Do they stink or do they smell good? All of these things, first impression really, really matter. And then are they really financially motivated? So you can interview on that by asking them, what are your goals? How much money do you want to make? What are you saving up for? Why are you saving up for that? Why is that important to you? And asking and continuing to ask them questions to see really what the base is of their money motivation. And if they hum and they haw, oh, I'm not sure, I just want to make a lot of money, blah, blah, they might not be really financially motivated. They might be lying to you. But if they're I really need to make $12,000, over the next 3 months so that I can buy a car or so that I can travel to, Bali or whatever. So if they have a really strong goal, a financial goal they're really saving up for, you can use that to motivate them on a weekly basis. So every week it's hey, Deb, you went out for 9 hours. You got 5 estimates. So you made $700 this week, but you really wanted to get to $1,000 a week. Okay. How can I support you to making sure that you can get $1,000 a week? And using that as kind of a training aspect. So the third trait, so we have just still in number 1 and number 2, picking the wrong people. We have first impression, we have financially motivated. And the third kind of extra bonus one is, are they organized, right? So look at their calendar. How are you managing your time? How do you remember to show up here? Do you use a Google Calendar? Can you show me your journal? How do you, not your personal journal, but your schedule? How do you manage your time, and are you fairly organized? Right? Someone who is organized will be super proud to show you everything. Someone who's not organized will try to hide and deflect. So, all right, that's number 1 and number 2. Number 1 reason you don't have a team. Number 2, you picked the wrong people. Reason number 3, why your door-to-door team is failing. You aren't training them enough. They're undertrained. You're just sending them out there. And I've done this before. I am guilty of doing this. I've sent marketers out with 10 minutes of training just over the phone, be hey, go hit up this neighborhood. Here's the streets that you're going to hit. Here's your clipboard. Here's your flyers. Here's your lead sheet. Here's how to book an estimate. Go get them, Tiger. Right? And then they go and then I wonder why they get skunked. Right? I wonder why they can go 3 shifts in a row without getting a single lead. And I'm busy. I'm running production. I'm doing sales. I'm doing, bookkeeping. I'm talking to customers. I'm moving my ladders around. And I'm just hoping my door-to-door team is working, but they're not. Nothing's coming in. It's quiet. No leads again. Sucks. And that's because you're not training them enough. And especially at the start, but also ongoing, you need to train and then continue training your people. So number 1, you need to know how to do it yourself. You need to know that you can get at least 1 estimate per hour. Because if the founder cannot get 1 estimate per hour, then it's going to be really hard to train that. Okay, so can you get one estimate per hour for your marketers in order to hire a marketer? And then can you help them get one estimate per hour? So literally for the first 3 to 5 shifts, you're going to go with them. So that's like 6 to 12 hours, or 6 to 15 hours, where you're going to be working with 1 or 2 marketers and helping them role playing. You do a house, I'll do a house, feedback. I'll do a house, you do a house, feedback. What went well? What didn't go well? Okay, let's try another one. Let's go. All right, you did that one. Let's give you some feedback on this. I think that you could have said this. How do you think I did here? Like, they can give you feedback as well. And you do this, like, continue role play and 360 type feedback with your marketers until they're confident, until that they can get at least one estimate per hour. And then that's, during the first week or so. And then after that, you need to be monitoring them, because if they have 1, maybe 2 shifts in a row, even after they've been working with you for a while, where they didn't get any leads, where they did get skunked, well, you need to go back, you need to circle back, and you need to do some more training. You need to either go with them for another shift, or you can have them put their phone on speakerphone and put it on their clipboard, and then they can listen to your pitch. You can listen to their pitch while they go. So you schedule like an hour where you have a phone call with them while they're going out, and you just listen to their pitch and then give them feedback after every house. Okay. It's going to take effort. It's going to be uncomfortable, but it's really, really important that you're supporting them, right? You're being there for them, because think about their life. Think about their job. Their job is to go out and walk streets for you and talk to strangers. If you're not providing them the support that they need, they're going to quit the second that they sniff that they're going to be unsuccessful. But if they know that every time they go out, they're going to make $300, $400, $500, they're going to be stoked to go out. They're never going to miss a shift. But that comes from the support that you're able to provide them, and the support that you're able to provide them, and the ongoing training that you're able to give them, right? You want them to be successful. It's going to take time. It's going to take effort. But once you can make them successful, it's going to take a lot less effort, in the long term. Okay. Pay attention. Do they have 1 or 2 shifts in a row where they get skunked, where they don't bring any estimates or leads? Don't just let them go again for that 3rd shift. Be there for them, right? You need to be there for them. All right. That brings us to reason number 4 why your door-to-door team is failing. And that is that you're picking the wrong neighborhoods. Picking the right neighborhood is so important to make sure that your team is successful. Okay. Now, there's a few tools that you can use to pick the right neighborhoods, but I'm going to give you a quick little tip that you can do, and then we're going to get into a little bit more of the nuance. But the best way to identify where a great neighborhood is you look at your past jobs. Where did you do a job where the customer was amazing? Maybe you did a few jobs on a street. It was a great average job size, and you had a really great profit margin on it, right? So like, where were your best jobs? Let's go target those areas first, right? So that's number 1, the easy way. But then if you want to get a little bit more nuanced, there's some tools that you can use online to help figure out the best neighborhood. Now, 2 leading indicators that we're going to look for are lawns maintained? Is the grass nice and cut and clean? And are there nice vehicles in the driveways? So if there's those 2 things, what the houses look like don't really matter, right? Are there some BMWs and Mercedes and like Lexuses and the Lexi in the driveways? Or are there like jalopies and 30-year-old, whatevers? So lawns and vehicles. But then what you can use is a couple different online tools. So in Canada, there's a tool called Census Mapper. In the US, you can use the USPS, Postal Service lookup. And you're going to be looking for income above $150,000 per year household income. You don't want to go above like 250 or 300. If you go above that 250, 300 per year household income, you're going to get into like really long driveways and houses that really fall far apart and gated communities. But if you can be down to like the 125 to 250 annual household income, you're going to find great pockets. So on these tools, you can actually target the specific neighborhoods that have the right type of income. And if you're using the Canadian one, you can also cross-reference that with the rent-to-own ratio to make sure that they're homeowners and not renters. And then the third thing that you can do, once you identify the streets and neighborhoods that you want to go to, is go to Google Maps, type in that neighborhood, and just drop the street view. Go to street view in that area and make sure the 2 leading indicators, nice lawns, nice cars, right? So income, rent to own, street view, and you're going to be seeing good areas. If you have a marketer who is a badass, is a really, really good marketer, but they go to a couple neighborhoods and they just get skunked. And you're like, hey, that's not a skill thing. Like, I know they're really, really good. There is a probability that it could be the area. So that means we just want to try another neighborhood. Just move over a neighborhood, move over a few blocks. You will be surprised at how important picking the right neighborhood is to your door-to-door marketing success. So like I said, picking the wrong neighborhood. So anyway, back to the 5 reasons. Number 1, you don't have one. Number 2, you picked the wrong people. Number 3, you aren't training enough. Number 4, you're picking the wrong neighborhoods. And number 5, we kind of covered this a little bit, but it's so important that it has to be a number. You aren't paying them properly, right? You might be paying them full commission or too low of an hourly rate or too low of a per estimate, where they're just not motivated to see. They can't see how they're going to be able to make a big impact to their life with the way that you're paying them. Going door to door is not super fun, right? It takes a specific type of person to want to do it, to want to be successful with it. And if you don't have the right compensation plan, even the right person is going to get demotivated. So you want to make sure motivation is there. You want to make sure you're paying your fair share to these guys and girls who are going door to door, right? Side note, I do recommend girls, like at least having one girl on door-to-door crew, typically get a higher door open rate. Anyway, with that being said, and actually that just reminded me, I'm going to give you 1/6 item here that I'm going to give right after I finish this 5th one with you aren't paying them properly. You can make a lot of money from door to door. Like I said, if your average job size is 3,000, then every estimate is worth about $1,000 in revenue or $500 in gross profit. So you can pay like $100 per estimate. You don't have to pay $100 per estimate. You can get away paying 50 to 70 an estimate. But if your average job size is 5K, then like pay more. You can afford it. Be in that 5 to 8% marketing cost. And that means that your team, your marketing team, can be super successful. They can make a ton of money. I've had marketers make $1,000 a week, working part-time, working 10 hours a week. Help your marketers make a ton of money, right? So that's number 5, is you aren't paying them properly. Pay them a solid base, $20 to $30 an hour, plus, $40 to $80 per estimate, depending on your average job size. Cool. And then as a bonus, the 6th reason why your door-to-door team might be failing is because they aren't dressed properly. They're not professional enough. We want bright colors, bright polos, matching hats, lanyards, clipboards, potentially iPads, khakis, not, or shorts if it's, like nice shorts. But you don't want to be wearing, black. You don't want to be wearing jeans. You don't want to have baggy clothes or a backwards hat or anything like that. Be a professional. If you ever see those like alarm, like those Vivint or ADT or whatever, those alarm companies going door to door, look how professional they are. They are wearing bright orange, like they all match. Big logos. They got big lanyards with their faces on it. They got clipboards. They got professional marketing material. Now, you don't need all of that, but having bright colors with logos on it helps so much. You're not a threat anymore. But if you wear a black t-shirt or a black polo, or you aren't branded up and you don't have a lanyard, people aren't going to take you seriously. And like, if you get half as many doors open as someone else who is properly branded, then the effectiveness is it just goes downhill, right? Just crazy. Anyway, with that being said, those are the 5 plus 1, so 6 reasons why your door-to-door team might be failing. So I hope you found that helpful, because I had a lot of fun putting this episode together. Now, with that being said, love you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Peace.
Thanks for listening to the Painter Growth Podcast. If you want to grow your painting business, go to www.paintergrowth.com or click on the top link in the description. Talk soon.